Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dana Martin. Here in a little bit, we're going to have some other guests, but at this moment, it's just me. And that's okay. That's okay because we will have someone else. I'm getting smaller. I don't know what's happening. What is happening? Okay, here we are. So, welcome to the show. I'm going to sip on my water, not whiskey. This is Cyclone Jim, Texas bourbon. It's all right. It's not my favorite, but it's all I got tonight. What are we talking about tonight? We are talking about the Ninth Jedi, episode 1 through 4. Zane is going to be joining here in a moment. He's just about to wrap up the last episode. Tiger reached out and said he'd jump on. We're going to do like a back and forth tonight, Zane and I. Otherwise, thank you. It's my room. Tiger, I see you there. House of Isla. So I'm glad you popped in. I mentioned in the Discord, you pinged me, and I mentioned about the loyalty program. And I haven't talked about this in a while. And I thought Master Tiger may be close to getting a book, because if you get enough points for watching the Sith Dominion, I will send you a book. There are 2 books that I have, and you get one or the other. I will send you one or the other if you reach 100 loyalty points in watching the show. This is the first one, 1 Minute Wins, Volume 1. Take control of your growth journey 1 minute at a time. There's a podcast to go along with the book that I'm currently recording. We're at, I think, 60 something. There's 101 different things in this book, not relating to Star Wars, but relating to personal growth. I just opened it up right here. 1 Minute Win, number 30. Small steps, big wins. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out, from Robert Collier. So then you have a lesson. Small intentional steps build the foundation for success. What daily habits, as a reflection, matters most for your goals? Commit to it today and tomorrow with some lines and some extra reflection questions. There's 101 of these. I mean, and then there's an index at the back. Like, what if I'm looking for this kind of thing to help me out today? That's what it is. All right. The other one, which I actually use, mine, I don't know where it's at, though, because I just cleaned my office and I don't know where I stashed it. But I have the fresh one here. There's a fresh one. This is the Path to Domination Dark Side Inspirational Journal. It is mostly just lined journal writing, right? I use mine to go day by day. Oh, I found it. This is mine. This is what I do in my journal. What is this here, you say? Oh, what is this here? What is that? That is a quote from Star Wars, way misquoted, but in a dark side way. A Sith's journal is a weapon. Wield it wisely. That is what that says. I will open to another random quote to give you another example. Strike laziness down and you shall become unstoppable. So, but again, I use this for my note-taking and planning of my domination with my side gig. About that side gig, tomorrow, if you follow me anywhere, DM me if you don't, and you want to take part in, I wonder, hold on a second, folks. Do I have this slide? Oh, I do. Hold on a second. Let's do this. Look at that. Communal. What? If it fails because we think we're clear, we weren't. So I am doing this dude right here. Communal what? Tomorrow at noon Central. Use that registration link. You can have 1 hour, limited to 40 participants, complimentary lunch and learn, called Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. We will go through that in about 15 slides, and that sounds crazy, but it's not. It's amazing stuff. It actually is the foundation, or piece of the foundation, of the Communal What framework that I developed to help people be better communicators. Intent, context, clarity, confirmation, and control. That is the Communal What framework. We're going to talk about everyone communicates if you connect. Why connection really is important to communication and better relationships and leadership. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, that is the other Dr. Dana Martin, not the Sithy Dr. Dana Martin. They're all the same guy. Trust me. Thank you. Thank you, House of Vizsla. It's a good pod. You listen to the old live. We do a Communal What Wednesday podcast where we just talk about communication. It's all I do for like 20, 30 minutes. It's just a communication tenet, something to help us be better communicators, not necessarily as leaders, just as people. The original goal of the Sith Dominion, and I'll go ahead and stop this share here. The original goal of the Sith Dominion was to connect leadership principles with dark side stuff. And what's incredible about it, the first few episodes, as rough as they were, I didn't know what I was doing. We made some really, really cool comparisons. We would take a Sith Lord and we would make real world comparisons to this person's charisma or their methodology in conquering, or this dude's like Napoleon. They fought this and then two-sided, and it was really fun. Really deep kind of real world Sith crossover. But I loved it. It's what we started at doing. And so the Dr. Dana Martin that lives in the world of communication and leadership, he does creep into the Sith Dominion. It's a piece of him. And the old Sithy side creeps into me as well on the other persona. So, point of all this is that you will get there is a third book called Rebel with a Cause, being a rebel in a galaxy of business, blah, blah, blah. And it basically takes real world business examples, comparing them to something from Star Wars. I don't have one. I'm sold out in person, so I don't have one, but go check it out. Find me on Amazon.com. That's the only place I sell them right now, and in person. Rebel with a Cause, The Dark Side Journal, and 1 Minute Wins Volume 1. Now, the whole point of that was this. I'm going to screen share with you guys right now. Get back over to my window. Okay. So our long time fan and follower and friend of the show, Spooky Jawa. Spooky Jawa already got a book. And Spooky, I think they already got one. Jedi Duck sitting there close in 50. Master Tiger, I think if you go between House Vizsla, which I think is you most of the time, and Master Tiger, you might have the most points there. The point is, once you get to 100, it resets. Whoever gets to 100 first for loyalty points, they get their choice of book. I will DM you and you tell me which one you want, and I will go on Amazon and ship it out to you directly. And then we reset. How do you get points? You get points by watching. It's like 1 point for every 5 minutes. Now, one of the issues is, where are you watching? So YouTube makes you comment. You get 1 point for every 10 minutes. But YouTube makes you comment every 5 minutes, or you don't get credit for that. So depending on where you watch, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, that point total adds up differently. If we could get verification that House of Vizsla is Master Tiger and one in the same, at least in account and viewership, we'll add those points together. And then Spooky, when you're listening to this, because you don't watch him live as much anymore, he's going to overtake you. So anyhow, that's what we do over here. It's been a while since we've had someone get something, and Spooky was the last one. So All right, enough of that. Enough of that. So Zane is finishing up. I think, yeah, I stated that. We're gonna duke it out over this. I know that him and I are not going to be. Yes, yes. Hold on, House of Vizsla. Yes, you're saying yes to it's you, whether it's Master Tiger or House of Vizsla. So we should add those together and get you to that point total quicker. 100%, brother. I'm with you. I will. I will, for real. All right. Um, so while he is finishing up and getting on, I do have a couple of things to talk about. First of all, what when it comes to the Ninth Jedi and this being anime, okay, we're not going to jump into all of that yet, but just kind of overall, I was excited to see how they would expand on what they had already done in Visions with this character, right? And with this animation, and are they going to stay true to all of that? And sorry, sorry, I gotta pop this in. Sorry, Spooky Jawa. Yeah, I think them's is fighting words, Spooky. So I felt like coming into it, I was pretty excited, and we talked about it last week. No real trepidation. I have nothing to lose, right? I have nothing invested. This is a new character in a different era of Star Wars we haven't even touched on yet. Let's go. Okay. Let's see what you do. Um of course I have a monologue that I wanted to do before Zane pops on, and I will here real quick. But before I do, I just want to give a kudos to the animators, because I truly felt going in indifferent. By the end of episode 1, I there I put it on kind of in the background. And by the end of episode 1, I'm still holding my phone doing the half email I was working on 30 minutes prior. So, yeah, I, great job. And I was captivated by what I saw. I thought it was really well done. And we'll talk about that later in the show. So, we have a couple of cool things coming up in the next couple of weeks. Like, I think I saw Zero Company is releasing the 27th, if I'm not mistaken. My lore master, you need to get your butt on here. Star Wars Zero Company. Man, is everybody still having fun with Halo? My gosh. I I'm seeing videos everywhere. I this I, this has been extremely successful for Microsoft. Zero Company. There it is. Release date August 27th. Let's go. I'm not gonna play it. I don't care. I'm gonna save my money for the racer, Galactic Racer. Um, that's gonna be something. All right. When Zane does pop on, he will no doubt have tons to say, because it will be really fresh for him. Because hold on, I have to sneeze. All right. I had no one to back me up there. I know Tiger was like, "Hey, dude, you need some." Man, we were gonna do this thing. Things aren't working out as intended. I know, brother. We'll get you on. We'll get you on next week. All right. Have you watched 5 through 9 yet? And if not, would you watch it? We'll pull you on next week. Yeah, I'm holding out. I'm waiting. Okay. Tonight, here we go. We are reviewing Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Can't breathe. I hear my car leaving. Okay. So my car just left my house. Here we go. Tonight we are reviewing the first 4 episodes of Star Wars Visions Presents The Ninth Jedi. Right out of the gate, this series is not just playing with lightsabers, it's playing with the question underneath the lightsaber. Who deserves to hold one? Who gets to claim the title of Jedi? And when the Jedi return, are they returning as guardians, symbols, warriors, ancient relics, or a new problem with better branding? What? Oh, that's where this show, I think, gets really interesting because Star Wars loves to talk about the Jedi like they're the automatic authoritative answer. The galaxy begins to fall apart, the Jedi are gone, and everyone starts whispering about hope and balance and light and restoration. Here on the Sith Dominion, we have to ask the uncomfortable questions sometimes. What exactly are we restoring? Because the old Jedi Order did not exactly leave the galaxy in great shape. They had temples, they had councils, they had rules, they had traditions, they had power, and they had generations upon generations of training. And still, the whole thing collapsed under the weight of fear, blindness, politics, arrogance, willful ignorance, and one very angry little Skywalker. So when the Ninth Jedi starts pushing this idea of bringing the Jedi back, my first thought is good. The heroes in turn are returning. No, it wasn't. My first thought is in what capacity? Are we bringing back wisdom? Are we bringing back discipline? Are we bringing back the peacekeepers? Or are we just putting ancient weapons into the hands of people who are still angry, still afraid, still untrained, still masterless, and still figuring out whether they are the light or just another shadow with a better speech? I feel like that sometimes. That's the edge that this series has. The lines are a bit blurred, and they should be. Because the galaxy does not need another group of people walking around saying, "Trust us, we have lightsabers." Because that has not worked out well in the past. And the lightsaber itself is a part of the issue. Everybody wants one, everybody recognizes when they see one, everybody treats it like the symbol of legitimacy. If you hold a lightsaber and suddenly people start assuming destiny, authority, power, hell, even purpose. But a lightsaber does not make someone a Jedi. Never has, never will. It just makes them a little bit dangerous. And that's where the Kyber crystal lore in this series, for me, becomes pretty damn interesting. In most Star Wars, the lightsaber color becomes a part of that identity of that individual based on their consular or the guardian, blue and green. And then you have, of course, red. And we know purple was special for Mace alone, but lore says maybe a little different. And then there's white. What's the white blade? Oh, Ahsoka. Now we got to have story around that. We see, though, that the blade ignite, we immediately start assuming and assigning specific meaning. The Ninth Jedi, I kind of feel like pushes this a little bit further. The blade does not just identify the wielder, it exposes them. I think that's the dangerous idea here. Because the kyber crystal is now, it's not just sitting there like a power source, it's responding. It is revealing something that perhaps is a reflection of the heart, an alignment, an inner state that the person holding the weapon is. I think I like that because from TSD, the Sith Dominion point of view, it makes the lightsaber less of a fantasy laser sword and more of a confession booth. You can lie to the room. You can lie to your master and you can even lie to yourself. But what happens if your blade reveals the truth? What happens when the weapon in your hand reveals what's actually inside of you? And that is a better Star Wars idea than just cool, that's a blade and it goes vroom. It also ties directly into why the Sith lightsaber is so fascinating. A Sith blade is red because the crystal has been violated. We talked about this in the last episode. It has been dominated, it has been bled and through bending of its own will with pain and rage. The red blade is not a decoration, it is evidence of a crime scene. The Sith do not ask the crystal, connect with me. They demand it and command it, and they bend it and they make it scream into the color of their ambition. That's why Sith lightsabers work symbolically. They're not just weapons, they're philosophy with a very dangerous edge. And the Jedi say, I serve the Force. The Sith say, the Force will serve me. So when the Ninth Jedi gives us blades that shift, reveal, react, it opens up a much bigger conversation so that the question maybe isn't whether or not someone has the Jedi weapon. The question is whether the weapon has exposed that they're not really a Jedi at all. That's what makes Kara interesting. She's not walking into this story as a perfect hero. She's not some fully formed legend. She's young, she's searching. We see this in Star Wars all the time. She's tied to her father. She's trying to understand what she's carrying with her and what it really means. And that matters because Kara gives the story that human centered. She's not trying to save the galaxy, she's just trying to save her dad. That's where Star Wars works best, and we know it. Big mythology filtered through personal sacrifice. But Kara is also standing at the center of a very dangerous idea. If lightsabers can reveal the heart of the wielder, then every time someone ignites one, the story is asking, who are you really? Not what side are you on or that you fight for, or what title you have or claim as Sith Lord or Jedi Master, not who trains you, not what you say you believe. Who are you when that power is in your hand? That's the real threat. And that's why Margrave Jiro's mission is both hopeful and questionable. Jiro's trying to gather masterless Jedi. He's trying to rebuild something that was lost. He's trying to restore light in a galaxy that right now is being shaped by darkness through warlords, fear, disorder. And that sounds noble, but let's not pretend there's any sort of safety in numbers, even with that, because gathering masterless Jedi, extremely risky because masterless Jedi can mean free. It can also mean unanchored. It can also mean no discipline. It can mean wounded people with power and no real understanding of how to wield it. And if you hand those people lightsabers, you may not be rebuilding the Jedi. You may be arming the next disaster. And that's the part I kind of want us to wrestle with a little bit tonight. That Juro may be right that the galaxy needs Jedi, but the galaxy does not just need people carrying the Jedi name. It needs people with the character to carry the Jedi burden. That's a big difference. And then we get Nawam. This is where the TSD antenna goes up a little bit because villains who just want destruction, they're easy. Villains who want control are a little more interesting, and that's because no one appears to be selling order in a galaxy that's tired of all the chaos. And that is always the dangerous sales pitch, if you will, in Star Wars. I can bring peace and prosperity to my new empire. Have we ever heard that? I can stop the violence. I can restore stability. I can make the galaxy safe. And then we can have peace. We've heard it all before. Sounds so good until you realize the price you have to pay for said peace, which we have talked about on this show in a real way. It's usually your freedom, your identity, mercy, and the ability to choose anything outside the will of the person in charge. That's why Nawam works as a counterpoint. Juro wants restoration, Nawam wants order. They're not the same thing. And if the reports about the Silver Blade state are where this series is headed, then we may be looking at something even more interesting than another dark side warlord, because the Sith are driven by passion, rage, fear, hunger, possession, power. But Nawam seems to be chasing something colder, detachment, emptiness, this sort of emotionless purity. And that's a problem, because that's not balance. That's not human. That's numbness. The Jedi have always had a complicated relationship, if you will, with emotion. They preach control, but sometimes control turns into suppression. They preach peace, but sometimes peace starts sounding like emotional distance. They warn against attachment, but often leave people with no healthy way to process things like love, grief, or loss. That is how the lines blur, because the Sith are wrong when they let passions rule them. But the Jedi are also wrong when they act like feeling deeply is automatically the problem. The problem's not emotion. The problem's being mastered by it. Jedi should not be empty. Jedi should be governed. That's a very different thing. If Nawam believes the ultimate state is to feel nothing, then he misunderstood the Force just as badly as the Sith do. He's not transcending darkness. He's becoming hollow. He's becoming less than. Hollow man with powers, still a threat. And maybe a worse one. Because rage burns hot. You can see it coming. Emptiness can wear the face of peace. And that's what I want to watch closely in these first 4 episodes. The Ninth Jedi, is it setting up a basic good versus evil story, or is it doing something a little bit different? Is it asking whether the Jedi can return without repeating old failures? Or is it asking whether lightsabers reveal truth or just create temptation? Is it asking whether Kara can become a Jedi without becoming another weapon in someone else's vision? Is it asking whether the galaxy's hunger for order makes it vulnerable to anyone strong enough to promise it? So that's why this series got my attention. Not just because it looks good, not just because that animation style, while not one of my favorites, is really drawing me in, and not just because the lightsaber lore I'm totally digging, but because underneath all of that, there's a dangerous question sitting on the table, and it's when the Jedi come back, how will we know? How will they know that they're actually Jedi? Because anybody can ignite the blade and anyone can claim they walk the light. Anybody can say they're trying to restore peace. But what this show may be telling us is that the crystal may know better. Tonight we're going to talk about it. Kara, Juno, Nawam, the masterless Jedi, the kyber crystals, the shifting blades, the blurred lines between peace, control, restraint, and power. Because the Ninth Jedi, the lightsaber, is not just a weapon, it's a lie detector. And that may be the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy. Awesome. Let's go. It's Is he in? Are you in? You're not in. Oh. Dude. Come on. In. What's he doing? I don't know what he's doing. Oh.
You were on a long monologue. I didn't want to.
I
You were going for it. I didn't want to stop it.
fairness, it wasn't that long. I kind of went off script a couple times, but
It was good.
I had a lot to say, man. Man, I got bags under my eye. I'm tired. Oof. I had a 34 sleep score. Stupid Samsung watch telling me I ain't got good sleep. Like I don't know that shit when I try to wake up. Come on, man. All right. What's up?
What is
lore
up,
master?
everybody?
It's
Hey,
been like
how's
a
it going?
month.
It's
Hold
been
on,
a little
hold on.
bit.
Let's get that. Yeah. There you go.
What is up, House of Isla Tiger?
That's right. House of Bisla. How you been, man? Let's take a pause. That was what time? Holy crap.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
I mean, there's 3 concurrent viewers. So
No, you were doing good.
We'll talk about the show, but just real quick. You just finished it, the first 4, and
Yeah,
you're probably trying to do other things while you were watching. And I get that because I tried to, but I got sucked in. Talk to me, dude. Just real quick. Like, yes, good, bad.
I'm gonna kind of point it up a little.
Okay.
It's a little up.
Fair.
I think this is definitely along my alley, being an anime enjoyer. It just felt weird. It felt so weird watching like an anime. It could have been an isekai. It could have been anything. And then it has the force and lightsabers. And you could probably get around that. But the music is what tore me apart, dude. I'm like, this isn't Star Wars. Why is this Star Wars? But like the story, it does catch you. It catches you a lot, and it really puts you in. And I think they really did well scripting everything. I think the only thing that pulls me out of it is the music. And that's only because I'm used to watching all of these animes and stuff. And having this Star Wars feel into an anime just doesn't feel right because I'm not used to it.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Okay. All right, pause. Stick a pin in that. What have you been up to the last month, It's been actually, it's like 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks has been since you've been on.
It's been a couple weeks.
You've had a move. I think you were just about to move. So, yeah, 3 weeks, just about to move when you were last on. So catch us up on the life of Zane and all the shows and gigs.
Alrighty.
At one point, I shared everything I knew as far as like the travel and all that, but you go, my friend.
So after you last saw me on this show, there's a good chance if you are around the community, you might have seen me on a House of Vizsla podcast episode. I probably did that like a day or two after this podcast. So
Yep.
really cool. It was about the last couple episodes of the mall show. It was really good. It was a really good episode. I highly recommend watching it. The podcast, not. I mean, you could watch the episodes. It's cool, but like, podcast episode was peak. But then, I had to move into a new house and deal with all of that. Turns out our water bill, our deposit, is getting refunded because the management we got a new. So we signed, and then after we finished signing, the management was like, "Hey, actually, you're going to a new management at the end of this month." So we had to get new water because they weren't covering our water anymore, and then we had to pay for everything. And then it turns out that they don't, and that they don't want to deal with it. So the management's now taking it over. So we get our deposit back. It's cool, but
Nice.
doing a lot of moving, a lot of just stupid stuff. Today I actually was moving my. I have this giant sound system, really good sound system for like 10 years ago. But it's heavy, and so I hauled it all into my car. I fit 2 tall speakers, a medium like TV speaker, and a subwoofer, and this ice machine. I moved everything into my car. I make it 10 minutes down the road. I start breaking down this hill. It is not going well. So I pull into this little like neighborhood. It's a gated community, so I have to go around, but I paused, I looked, I'm like, I have no flat tires or anything. Like when you brake, like it felt like it was going.
Got you.
It was slipping. It was so bad. I get back to the house that I'm at right now. There's a bolt just in the driveway. That's such a nice thing to see.
So maybe you should fill him in on what you did 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, 2 weeks ago, I actually replaced my rear brakes. So one of them was gone. It was gone. There was nothing left. It was literally straight metal.
Oh my goodness.
If you know like about fixing cars, you know how on the brake pads they have that little thing you put there so that it starts to like scream at you that it's low? No, that was gone. That was gone. There was nothing left of that brake pad.
So in case there's any question, you replaced your brakes
and rotors, the back rotors.
And rotors. Drove it for 2 weeks roughly.
Yeah.
And today you had a bolt come out.
Yes.
Wow.
And yeah, so
and you've been to where since you replaced the brakes that could have happened at any time?
I didn't go to Midland in that car. Luckily.
Oh, you rode. That's right.
Yes, I know what you were thinking. No.
Yep,
but I did drive up through Austin, and I drove down through San Antonio. And I mean, I drove the 3 hours there and back to Houston.
Oh my god!
So it was holding on for dear life.
Anytime I get the text that's LMK when you're good to call, I'm always like, oh shit, what now?
It hasn't been that bad recently.
So the last time it was the brakes, and this time it was the brakes. So I have to be a little gun shy when I get these texts.
To make it even better, I texted you and you didn't even respond.
No, because
like 4 hours later.
I know, man. I'm glad you weren't in jail or something, and I was your one call because I was in a meeting. Like, what am I supposed to do?
I got some friends in the oil field. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So something crazy we talked about and figured out.
I was looking for a picture and I couldn't find one.
No. All right, I'll show that, dude. Look at that. Okay. So this is, I don't know, when is that date? 2008.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Dude, you're like 4. No, you weren't even 4, you were 3. 2 days before my birthday in 2008. That is me playing at Sean Patrick's in San Marcos with an with a part of our agreement or payment was open bar, and we happened to have our sound engineer there, our booth sound engineer guy, to do recording. So we did live recording that night with an open bar with a man who loves Jameson and Guinness. It wasn't a good idea for anybody. The recording, I didn't have time, Zane, to pull it up before the show, but there's a part where Sarah, who's the lead singer in the namesake Sarah Dynan band, you hear, "What is that? Oh, great. Another pint for Dana." Because up to that point, there'd been a couple of times where I would start the song and they'd be like, "No, that's not the song we're playing, Dana." And I'd have to start over. And nope, that's not the song. Needless to say, I showed Zane this, and the moment it hit his text, he was like, "Oh my God, yes, that is the place we played like a month, 2 months ago, something like that."
No. We played that. I played that with Bo Moore like a year or two ago.
That would have been like a year and a half ago or so. 2 years.
Yeah, it's about 2 years now.
Yeah.
But we played it for KA, Kappa Alpha.
There you go. Father son playing the same venues.
And
different
I only
genre and everything, man.
That the E and the A for Sean Patrick, dude, that's so recognizable.
Yeah.
Like I'm low key. I'm trying to look on the Instagram for him just to see if I could find
it. That's awesome. All right. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Oh, stop sharing. No, stop. Hide. All right. So yeah, man, you've had several gigs. You've had several different bands. You've played with. You've had quite the time, and we've soldiered on without you, my friend.
I haven't.
It hasn't been the same though, huh?
I haven't even talked about any of those. I'll leave it as a mystery, I guess. But any of those, I mean, I've played for like 3 or 4 different people since the last show.
Yeah, you did. You played for. Can I try to name them?
You got this.
I'll do my best. If I see if I
do
can
the
get
easy ones
these
first.
3.
Easy ones first.
Thomas Babiak.
You got this.
John Brewer.
Yes.
Nice. Von Seeger.
And what's the new one?
The Boondocks Boy.
Yes, you got them all.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Look at this guy. This guy pays attention.
Listen, and the Boondocks Boys stuff, it's different, but I dig it. I like it.
It's for those who don't know, Boondocks Boys, this newer artist that I'm playing with, we opened up for Jesse Joe. He was that contestant on America's Got Talent. I think he made it to the live round. So we opened up for him. We had a huge time, but the Boondocks Boy, really good band. If you like, say you took maybe Tritty Oak Revival and you mixed it with Post Malone. That's a weird mixture, but it works really well, in my opinion.
Go check them out, man. Zane sent me the playlist. I don't know if that was okay to say. And it was
I made it
awesome.
myself.
Like the playlist was cool too. They're like Limp Bizkit and freaking I'm like
the Limp Bizkit song.
Did you play those songs?
No. So there's like 3 songs. It's like a 3-song kind of mashup, and it was supposed to be Tombstone by Wage War, and it's the last couple of like the last couple seconds, last minute. Yeah.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
says he's traveling and he's got his Xbox and he's playing freaking Halo
Fortnite.
right now. 100%.
But
What's
yeah,
up, Josiah?
you take the last like beat, because it like slows down at the end and then they go into a beat. That's what we take from the end of Tombstone by Wage War, and then we brought it, you kind of end it into Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit, and then Break Stuff goes on for a bit of the intro, and then it goes straight into this song called Roulette by the Boondocks Boy. So we didn't
That's
play
cool.
full songs of it, but it overarched entirely.
That's cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
We didn't get to play Roulette because that song is too hard. We ended up throwing in a Coetzel song. You know, there was no way I was going to learn.
So,
I learned a whole
like
set in a
being
week.
So
I'm okay
in
with
demand, dude. You're so in demand right now. You making time for me is only because your brakes broke. I know that because originally he wasn't going to be on the show tonight because he had rehearsal with, hold on, Vaughn. So Vaughn Seeger, if you're tuning in because you're like, what's this jerkhole doing on this show? I can attest his brakes were broke. What are you going to do?
I have the picture of the bolt. I think I sent it to him.
That's right. The rock star came
So
in
cool.
clutch, Josiah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's right.
My
gosh.
Oh, dude, my wheel feels like the inside of my wheel feels like how my old rotor felt, the one that was with that bad brake. Like
it just wore.
Well, because the thing that holds the brakes, that was the bolt that was missing, so it was just kind of hanging. And so because it's hanging, that's why I think I didn't notice
for
it.
a while. Did you not hear it?
Well, that's why I think, because I went to the gas station, I filled up, I went another 10-15 minutes down the road before I felt anything wrong with the brakes, so it must have slipped out probably when I was turning to go down that road, because I was going straight up for the rest of that time. Hey, at least I noticed it.
Josiah, can we look next time Zane's in the, I mean, Zane's closer to you actually, I think, Josiah, than he is right now this moment than he is to me. We gotta why can't we
No, I'm not.
can we get a jam? Can we get a jam? I thought he was in Conroe.
I thought he was in Austin. I thought it was an Austin band.
Josiah's in Austin now?
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. If so, I just want to let you know.
Oh, well, you're like
I own a house. Well, I rent a house, and we don't have neighbors on either side. So if we want to jam, I'm there.
I'm going to have to tell Charlotte I'm taking a boys' weekend, and I'm going to come hang out with my son, and Josiah's going to come down, and we're going to freaking just jam all weekend, dude. Hell yeah.
Oh,
my fingers are hurt.
And Ethan will be there by the 16th. Dude.
Let's go.
You're going to have so many guitarists.
Give me 1 month. Just say 30 days. We're going to do it on this day so I can work out my voice and I can just, and let's go. Wow. Yeah. I told you. Okay, I don't want to dox you on screen, but you already doxed yourself, brother.
You are?
I didn't mean to.
Okay.
I told you, literally like 15 minutes from you right now.
My bad.
Okay?
My bad.
Right now, y'all could sync up and play tonight if you wanted.
I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. Well, I can't either.
But
I played drums too.
Or could Bart.
Oh, I gave you my bass.
I do own a drum kit and I do own a bass. So, I mean, you got room in your house, right?
Did I really? I did give you my bass, right?
Yeah, the blue one.
Yeah,
the PV or whatever.
The PV. Yeah.
I have it.
Yeah,
dude, we could be switching instruments so much. We'll get you on the drums for a song. It'll be so cool.
Dude, I can keep a beat. I'm no Lars, but I can keep a beat.
I don't know if you needed the butt there. I'm no Lars. I can keep a beat.
I'm planning on finding time to go to Texas, take a break from school. That's right. I don't remember. I don't want you to dox yourself, brother, but I don't remember where. Do you remember where Tiger is?
Oh, hi.
Heck yeah. Hey, Josiah. I know you golf too, and I golfed with Cam a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't golfed in oh God, close to 15, almost 20 years. And I got the bug. I got a new bag. I got freaking
Teach
new
me.
driver, new wood. I'm 51. I got a new wood. And that one was old. Anyhow. So yeah, I heard you golf. I'm totally down. Let's go. All right, let's get on to the Star Wars again because we've already.
I just
Anything
also
else?
wanted to say, I wanted to say
Yeah.
before all this is over, I did see Spooky was in Texas. He was in like Dallas or North Austin, and I was not gonna drive that far. Sorry, Spooky. I love you.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think that already happened. That he might have. It might be later on this month or next month.
It's all good, man. I always see those videos, those TikToks where like, these different podcasters run into each other or hook up, and not hook up, you know what I mean? And
link up.
And it's always cool, man, to see that. One of the things I got to see, the Sith Dominion, for those of you that are new to the show, the name, the Sith Dominion, came from a role-playing forum I was a part of back in the early 2000s called the Sith Dominion. The website, the Sith Dominion, held this role-playing forum, and the role-playing forum was kind of like D&D. Everyone had characters. We wrote for our characters in these elaborate stories, and it was kind of a which way book, if you remember those, choose your own adventure. We'd have these game masters that would run the role play through the forum, and it was very rich literature. Like, it was so good. I'd shown Zane when he was really young some of it. He probably doesn't remember. Now,
It's
the
like
cool
50
thing
Shades
is,
of Grey type.
No, it's not.
Well, okay, but think about it. Those books were a fan fiction of Twilight, and for them to be so good that they took out the Twilight stuff and just made it its own series, and it became award winning. I mean, y'all probably could have taken your RP and put it into a book, a comic series, and made it something good.
know for a fact, without doing it right now, which will probably be wrong, if you Google Darth, D-A-R-T-H, Marda, M-A-R-D-A, you may come up with something about the Sith Dominion and whatever. If not Darth Marda or Lord Marda, it could be Kiali Marda, Kiali. I think Kiali Marda. There is some lore in a wiki about this roleplay stuff. It was super awesome, man. It ended up becoming the new Sith Brotherhood after a great schism in the members for a third time. And it was just really fun. A great creative outlet. I could write in a way I hadn't written before. I had done academic writing at that point in my life, but never, fiction. And it was fun. So the name Sith Dominion always stuck around. And I own the domain. Why not do something else with it? We have the podcast. So were you able to find anything, or is that what you were doing?
No, it doesn't work. Okay, so this should work. It does. Okay, so I'm about to put above us a shortened. Oh, what is that? Say HOA.
Oh my gosh, that's me. I just found this.
Okay, if you go to this link up here right now, it'll take you to.
You can't click on it.
It's like a form page. Well, I know you gotta type it in 8R3X9. I couldn't change it, but it's also for one show. But if you go to this link up here, shorturl.at/8r3x9. I mean, I could probably just send it in the chat
Okay.
for you.
/BR.
Well, I just sent it in the chat. Okay.
X9.
YouTube. This is the Heirs of the Empire forum log about Lord Marta. And from there, you can click on him and possibly look at all of the chats that he has been a part of. And look at those forums.
Dude.
And yeah, you see it, don't you?
Dude.
But this Heirs of the Empire is where Marta is mostly prominent.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think that exists anymore, man.
Somebody's reliving old memories.
Yeah. Big changes to the houses. RP system changes. Yeah. Holy crap. Darth Lucifer posted that in 2014. Wow. You just threw me back.
I don't ever want to hear that from you. I just made you throw it back.
No.
You heard it here first, folks.
Man, that was so much fun. All right. So here's the thing. I do have all of that stuff when I go to my web host and I go back end, I can see the forum in PHP. So everything is there, but I can't see the forum because it's not installed as a forum. You know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bottle of wine for pregame during my steak and broccoli and mushroom dinner. And sipping on Cyclone Jim, I'm getting a little wonky at this point, so forgive me. What is that?
McConaughey's. I got the koozie and it's a hazy IPA, very citrusy.
All he's doing is pulling a Trump. He's getting himself in position to run for president. You watch. Or governor of Texas.
Hey. Say what you will about that guy. Pretty good beer. And I saw him in a
movie.
Was he in Goodfellas? Was it good? No, it wasn't Goodfellas. What movie did I see? I saw a movie like.
You gotta pump them numbers up.
Oh no, he was in Tropic Thunder. Dude, I just showed my roommate Tropic Thunder. He was so good. He was his manager or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude. Say what you will. I won't.
No, I like Matthew McConaughey. I won't
do the sign on as he does it. Super close together. I'm not a UT fan, but I'm not against him.
Are you done?
No. Yes. I'm just saying, okay. You got to cheer for your state, regardless.
I got you, but
you will never do that. It's okay.
Okay, this is why I can't.
You can't even claim SEC anymore because they're in the SEC.
Gotta light my candle so that I can focus. Let's get back to task.
We're only
all right.
30 minutes of derailing.
I know. It wasn't too bad. Cam and I'm probably on a watch list now because Cam and I kind of went off. Cam,
you could say
a couple episodes ago.
What did you talk about?
Well, we did the whole deflock, whatever, haha, and we started going down some things with Star Wars, and we ended up really political. And I don't mind that as long as it is applicable and factual, and not just my truth, but a truth. And there's a difference in that. Star Wars lends itself to this, and in my monologue, I didn't say politics, but I alluded to the Jedi and alignment and the confusion as we start to kind of break into this. That Kara shows when that blue lightsaber pops. She just assumed that it would not be a blue lightsaber, if any saber at all, and then assumed, "Oh, well, you must be a Jedi. Then why are you attacking me?" Like that ambiguity from her shows how narrow her view is of what she's been taught of those who wield sabers. I liken it to someone who maybe lends their ideology to a more socialist alignment, because what they've been taught is a very narrow view of oppressed and oppressors. So based on what you are taught, then your foundational formulation of what a Jedi is, of what a politician is, of what a capitalist is, etc. It's it's all interconnected, and Star Wars does a great job of putting that where you don't really have to forcefully read between the lines. If you're awakened enough, you see between the lines. And they did this beautifully in that one moment of, wait, you're a Jedi. Talk to me about that moment and my thoughts. Do you agree, disagree? Had you thought of that angle?
I think honestly, this whole show, I just want to put out there, it's not canon, right? We all know this is not a canon show. It
Mm,
was made from
mm.
visions. It is not a canon show.
It's not canon.
However,
No.
I think it really it does bring a lot of stuff into the foray to get you just kind of thinking about maybe where Star Wars could be headed. And a series like this, from what I've noticed, this series is so focused on the saber. Just in these 4 episodes, that is the biggest thing I've known. It's so focused on the idea of a saber. I mean, shoot, her own dad, which is, I don't even remember his name, but he is literally a saber maker. Like that is his job. And having a person so important be in that role, and then you have the whole thing with his lightsaber turning a certain color, and what's his name's lightsaber turning us that same color. But like this whole show is showing who people are, where they are, everything about them through the lens of lightsabers. And I think they really took something kind of thrown around by some mild fans. You know, lightsaber fights are so cool. I love lightsabers. And they really just put so much emotion, so much just information into that specifically. And I'll wait to go on about the specific lightsaber color we're talking about, because there is a specific one. I'll hold on to that. But just like my main thoughts on this whole thing, and I kind of agree with you, but like that moment where she's like, "Oh, you're not a Sith. It's a blue lightsaber. Are you a Jedi?" But then flashing back to the apprentice going after the master, and his lightsaber was blue for most of that fight. It's all on the saber. That is what this series so far has been about. It's all about the saber. So, yeah.
I'd like for you to change it's all about the saber and say it's all about the kyber.
Nah.
It's all about the kyber.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but a kyber crystal is useless when you're just holding it.
Mm.
When you has there been anything in any Legends canon where someone holds a kyber crystal and through that they manifest a weapon? And it's not just about the kyber crystal. It is, but it isn't, because every single part of that lightsaber they construct themselves. They don't forge for other people. They are taught how to forge their own. A saber master doesn't just build lightsabers and stock them up on shelves like a blacksmith. He is the one that holds the knowledge on how to make a lightsaber correctly. And then after that, I mean, that's all up to whoever has it. And I think those little things also describe their own personalities. And so, yes, I do think the kyber matters a lot, but it's the whole saber, in my opinion, that really shows everyone like their emotion, where they are. Because even if you look into canon, look at people's lightsabers. I mean, be honest about Vader's lightsaber. It looks cool, maybe, but it's kind of
It's an
bland.
extension of him. It's an extension of him.
It
It's very
is.
mechanical looking. It's yes.
It's
We
very.
talked about that on the last episode.
Did
if you hadn't
you?
watched it yet? Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
but it's
Because we
very
did
bland.
lightsabers.
It's very
Yep.
robotic.
Yep.
It fits him because at that point in time, he was a soldier. He was following his master's orders. That was it. He wasn't thinking for himself. And so that's why I think when it comes into that, it is
Will
it is
do,
the
Tiger.
lightsaber as a whole. It isn't just the crystal. Anyways,
So I need to point of clarification.
yeah.
Episode 1 through 4 is about understanding the kyber crystal. We have kyber crystals in lightsabers that we saw change. We saw something happen with the individual and something happen within the crystal simultaneously, change that crystal refraction from blue to silver, white, or what have you. We saw a crystal the size of a freaking bus be healed by not Juro. What's the dad's name? I can't remember his name.
It is Jima.
Oh, I've got it written down. Yeah, that guy,
Ejima.
Zima.
La
Yeah,
Jima.
Zima. Healed as well. I say as well because he was the one that with the crystal and fighting his master. And so when I say maybe this is deeper and there's a large portion of this, not necessarily about the saber, but about the crystal. The saber is one of the tools that I think the crystal is, or that we're being shown how the crystal is impacted by the individual. I think that's what you were getting at. And that then the mega weapon that Nawa's creating, that crystal was harmed and then needed to be realigned. And hey, what is it about? Why are we focusing on crystals today much? I'm okay with that so far because of how they're approaching it. I think there is definitely that bond, and we talked about it on previous episodes. There's a bond between someone and a Jedi and their crystal, and it's the bending and breaking of the crystal in new lore that turns it red for that Sith. Can we stick a pin in the saber piece? We'll come back to
Yeah,
that. I want to talk about Kara for a second. We get this in a lot of Star Wars stuff. The unpolished, raw, young child Jedi. The first person that comes to mind is Ezra. I don't know about you. Talk to me about some similarities between Kara and Ezra, and go.
Dude, it really felt like, in a weird way, they really, as characters, have connected. I think Ezra post Kanan's death, because at that point, what is her name, Kara? She
Yeah.
had lost her master, her dad, and is figuring out how to do everything on her own. A lot of those times, dude, Ezra felt like he was literally alone. And I think there are so many parallels you can draw between this. It's such a weird thing because this is set like years in the future. This is set like years after Rise of Skywalker. So there's always a chance for them to add it back into canon. But it really just the attitude about everything. Like it really does feel like if Ezra was a girl, you know,
Mhm.
he might have some of those more feminine traits. Maybe he is a little more peaceful. Maybe he is a little more reserved because he would be a girl, but still, like it, I think the parallels are definitely there. I agree with you.
And with Ezra, for me, it was I'm trying to save Lothal, right? And he holds on to a small slice of hope that his um parents are still alive or whatever. But for a while. But she doesn't really know whether her father's I can't remember quite. Does she know her father's alive yet?
I think, I mean, by the end of the 4 episodes, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
totally.
beforehand, I mean, I think she escaped without her father, and so it was always
Yeah.
unknown. But I think by the 3rd episode, she finds out. Either that or when she's fighting, what's his name?
So there
In
were some things
Yeah.
with Ezra where Ezra had delusions of grandeur, in my opinion. Like he was looking at times to be a Jedi and be bigger and be better and da, 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 da. And I don't sense that from Kara. I think she's more of a Skywalker. It's more about, you know, her family, her friends, or and things like of this nature. So I
Mhm.
actually would compare this more to Luke than I would Ezra. Ezra popped to mind first, but the more I thought about it, I kind of likened it to Luke. What do you think?
You know, it makes sense, but I think it makes sense on a more specific scale of, when Ezra was starting his journey, he was living day in, day out for God knows how many years with Kanan. He was a part of that Jedi process every single day. Now, Luke, he was with Obi-Wan for how long? Like,
20 minutes. No.
exactly. Like, and then he's with Yoda. Yeah, and Yoda tries to teach him, but what Yoda teaches, he's already like blown up the Death Star, you know? Like he's already so much more mature than Kara is. And I think Kara definitely shows that maturity a lot more. I think with her being so far removed from a Jedi Order, I mean, she isn't, but she really is. Like from the Jedi Order, she's so removed. And I think because of that, she really does resonate with Luke a lot. I can see that because
Mhm.
Luke, when he came into this, he really didn't have that much training. He blew up a Death Star. He got a little more training, but his friends were in danger, so he left and came back, and then he's dead. The green guy's just dead. And I do think I can definitely see that parallel a lot more. I think Ezra, in terms of just being a Padawan and a kid during that time, I can see that. I can also see Luke because of how detached from the problem like he was. That's kind of Kara. I mean, it's not like she was face first in it as a kid and then had to deal with it. As a kid, she was just learning from her dad everything that he knew. And so it's not as, I don't want to say structured, maybe. I feel like Ezra got some pretty structured learning from Kanan because that's what Kanan knew.
Yeah.
But by the time of Kara, I mean, she didn't have that. By the time
Mhm.
of Luke, he really didn't have the time for that structure. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, I can totally see that. Luke being a more better comparison.
Wet your whistle, because I got a good question here. So hear me out. The changing of the lightsaber color. Let's move into that piece. It's a little bit interesting to me because it's something we haven't seen before, other than in the Acolyte, where that was
Possibly.
stupid. But what I feel is that lightsaber lore to me is very static, right? It's I have a green saber, I'm a consular. I have a blue saber, I'm a guardian. I have a blue whatever. And this is all from lore from video games, from why
From
does Luke
canon.
have this saber versus that saber?
Mhm.
Why does Mace have a saber that has uh, a purple blade? Well, that's just because he wanted it. But now we have to make it lore. I mean, let's be honest, right? So there's all kinds of stuff with the
Mhm.
lightsaber. And just sidebar, real quick. For me, the way that they kind of willy nilly the lightsaber in the sequels was a
Mhm.
little disturbing because I grew up in an era where only certain people could wield a lightsaber because of the dynamic of the saber with the hilt. You had to have some level of force sensitivity in order to wield it in the first place. And this is what I grew up with as a 51-year-old, whatever, Gen Xer. Okay.
I'm
And
actually
so
Han
when
Solo
you
in Empire.
when you watch, that's what I'm about to address. When you watch the original trilogy, the only other person that wasn't a Jedi or a Sith to wield a lightsaber was Han Solo, which would then yield itself to the theory that Solo was force sensitive at some level.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, which would give credence to how lucky Han Solo is. Just throwing that out there. And within what we call now legends, but what we knew is canon-ish at the time, yeah, Leia and Han Solo had some pretty powerful Jedi children and a
Pretty
Sith
powerful.
child. So I, he had to have been force sensitive to wield the lightsaber. So when you throw it into the sequels and you've got Finn, okay, from my perspective, I'm like, badass. Finn's got force sensitivity. Maybe not. We're not going to develop it. F you. And F you, John Boyega. And while I don't agree with everything you say, John Boyega, I agree they F you pretty bad. You should have been a Jedi. Okay. Anyways, I feel like that sort of lore is being carried over now and broadening
Mhm.
because it's more of a revealing thing of who that person is. It becomes like a spiritual diagnosis tool, if you will. Instead of what color did you get? Are you whatever?
Are you
It's like
better at
what
force or better at swinging your sword?
what's your heart right now? Because yeah, you're a Jedi blue, but all of a sudden that shit turned neutral. You're devoid of emotion. That's a whole nother discussion
I'm
for
so
later in
ready.
the show if we have time. My
Oh, we will
God.
have to. That's so important. We need to discuss that. Before we get into
So
anything,
go ahead.
I just want to point out that yes, in the movie, the specific movie that came out in theaters, it is never discussed that Finn is force sensitive. However, the line that he was about to say when he falls into that sand was that
Yeah.
to Rey, he was supposed to say that he was force sensitive, but Disney cut it out. Not
Do we
J.J.
know that for a
Abrams.
fact?
Yes, that is one of the ones. Because remember, they had cut out a bunch of stuff, including a lot of the Rose Tico stuff and presumably a lot of the Finn stuff. But that scene specifically was cut out. It's in the book.
Wow.
So
So I've always
Finn
felt that
is
was why
force sensitive.
Finn resisted, was because he had a heightened sense, Jedi sense of it's not okay. This isn't okay. Because I think to be a Jedi, you have to have this inherent, born with sense of something, an X factor, if you will, care, compassion. I love how Anakin puts it that no, we're not supposed to have attachment, but we're supposed to have compassion, which is love, and etc. Like Luke was the epitome of that, 100%. And I can see that parallel in Kara, 100%, from a Luke perspective. And caring about what's happening, yes, to her father, but even more so those who she's traveling with and on this journey. And Juro's death at her distraction, that's going to leave a sting in episode 5, which I can't wait to see how that plays out. Did you anticipate that Juro would die already?
Oh, yeah. I already knew.
You did.
I anticipated it, but that's because the master always dies. You know what I
But
mean?
he kept so here's something I never noticed, and I may have to rewatch, but he kept saying, I'm not a master, right?
Mhm.
But then all of a sudden he stopped saying that.
When he starts to train her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it might not have been like a thing on his side, but I mean, the animators and the people who made it definitely thought about that.
Hmm.
I don't know.
So let's talk about Juro real quick. And he's dead already, but his intent to rebuild the Jedi Order. I found that interesting that continues to be the plight of all the Force sensitives that want to do good. It's rebuild the Jedi Order. But we'll do it better. You know, like we'll do socialism better. Okay. Than anyone else in history. You got that. All right.
We started getting into politics.
So
I got a lot to say about politics, dude.
Can we agree that it's paralleled here? Like,
Well,
no, we know better. We can do it better.
I'm just saying,
we're only 20, but we can do it better.
If you want to get into politics, like when I am reading about all of these things, like the only thing I can think of when I hear about the Jedi, especially during the reign of the Jedi Order, is that they really remind me of Jerusalem in a way, the Jewish faith, like the way that they create all of these rules so that the few rules that they are actually given never get a chance.
Oh my gosh, you're talking about! Oh my god, I can't believe
feel it.
You know, did I talk to you about this? Did I?
I don't think
teach
so.
you this?
No.
Oh god. So yeah, the 10 Commandments, and then there's a whole nother set of rules, and then there's a whole nother set of rules to make sure you don't break those rules, so that you don't break these rules. And I'm not down in it. I'm just saying this is how it is. And
that's how the Jedi Order is.
You're right. The Jedi is like, you can't do this because we don't want this, but then you can't do this so that doesn't happen, so that you can't do this. And they become the moral ruler as in not ruler, ruler as in the standard, the measuring stick, but then the ruler of morality. But me as a libertarian, I don't care. You can all know. Like, you do you, me do me. My rights shall not infringe upon yours, and your rights shall not infringe upon mine.
But why
That's
did the
how I live.
Separatists start?
But that's not the Jedi way.
Mm-hmm.
That is more of the Dooku way,
But
which is why I love me some Dooku. But go ahead.
My thought has always been like when you get into something like this, like why did all of those planets actually join the Separatists? It wasn't because they were, they were scared of this other side. It was because they had so many rules that they were forced to follow that they had to break away. I mean, granted, they broke away under someone who claimed to be a, let's say, false ruler. They promised them everything and they ended up with nothing. But
Yeah. You
that's why they
pretend
broke
to
away.
be something so you can get the votes, and then you turn and be yourself. It's called Takia.
Star
Look it up.
Wars is always politics. Anyways, let me put this back up. Just for
I
those
can't
who
believe I
want to
just
know.
said that live on air. But if you know what that is, Google it, and it's scary. So Juro's trying to restore the Jedi.
Mhm.
But restoration, for me, when I'm watching this, starts to kind of become an obsession for him. And that's where I was afraid the Ray project was kind of going to go. And I'm glad that's still tabled. I think they're still evaluating whatever. But gathering Jedi, masterless Jedi, we see this played out or not played out. How does that work? Have you played the second Jedi Survivor game?
No.
Okay, I haven't either, and Cam would be the one to then speak on this. But I know, there was the list of Jedi in the first one. I played through the first one. I have not completed the second one. But I know that, was he going to try to find them all? I don't remember what the context was for all that, but it seems to me that in the state of where the Empire was at that time, at least with Cal Kestis, that was a pretty dangerous endeavor if you're going to go find these other Jedi and try to recreate something to fight back. What we have here with Juro is something a little bit different than what we saw with that. And let me explain. I'm not going to get political with what I'm about to say. I'm going to explain something to you.
Can I just keep that?
Yes.
Keep that? I just wanted to say
Yep. I
that
got it.
Cal destroyed the holocron with all of the list. His goal was never, after he had that vision of them getting hunted down, he never did anything with that list other than destroy it. Go back and do it.
Good for him. Okay. I know Somalian refugees is a crazy thing to talk about right now, but in Somalia, back in the 90s, okay, there was some civil war and some things. Some very terrible things were happening in Somalia, which is why there were a lot of refugees under Obama coming over, because of things that had been occurring there that we went in to assist with, and then brought people out of there. It was a terrible, terrible situation. The situation was that the Civil War had brought on then a series of warlords that would then pocket these areas of geography that they would claim for their own within Somalia. These warlords would then fight each other, taking out whoever was in their path. And this is killing, of course, innocent people all the way around. We take this example from history from the 90s. I say this the 90s, but that was like 30 years ago. That's like a long time ago.
It could still be going on.
For me, like, I'm remembering this very clearly. I have family very close to all of that. And so, um, when I hear the state of the galaxy in this show as being these warlords, for those of you that don't know history, when a civil war occurs, that is the immediate result before any established government control over whatever used to be said territory. Warlords rule. And Nawa is a warlord. He's not a Sith Lord that's trying to rule the galaxy. He's a warlord.
He's not a Sith.
He's not a Sith.
He never called himself
Never
a Sith.
claims to be.
In fact, he called
And
the other
so
guy a Sith. The
he
last Sith.
did. The last Sith.
Anyways,
Very important distinction. Now, the Sith in this case would be being used as a tool. We'll get to that in a minute. God, this is rich. This is where, man, I'm sorry I took so long and we talked off subject for so long because there's a lot to unpack in these 4 shows, man. I'm using the Somalian warlord example. That was during the Clinton administration where we were involved there. So you don't think I'm taking sides on a Republican Democrat. It doesn't. It's all war and it's all stupid. We should just pull all of our troops back and line our borders. And if you're here, fine, great. And if you're not, no, follow the process. And if the process is broke, then damn it, fix it so that people who want to be here and contribute and be a part of America can. You can't tell me there's only 70 courts that hear immigration. F you, government. You're making it too damn hard. All right. That's why I'm a libertarian. All right. So
I just want to say these
the
opinions
warlord
expressed
piece-
by those on the
Yes,
podcast
thank you.
are
Yes.
only the
point
opinions
here
of
is
individuals.
just like in our history, repeated in Star Wars, there's these warlords in a time of civil war. It's unrest, it's chaotic, and everybody has their own opinion on how the path to end the chaos that's in question. It's not that everybody wants peace. Everybody does, right? It's the path to get there. Can we be honest?
Mm-hmm.
The Jedi always had the same goal as the Sith. Peace. It's just a different method in reaching so. Common ground in Star Wars is so damn important. And I talk about common ground like crazy in my side gig. Because if Democrats and Republicans agree that the end goal is the end goal, we can start to work together to make the journey to the end goal correct for everybody, not one side or another. Okay, I'm done. So that piece is very story driven in this episode 1 through 4 because you see remnants of droid army. You see remnants of, though not just droids leading droids, we see beings leading those droids though for Nawa. So I've said a lot of words, a lot of connection, a lot of stuff about this piece of the political. All right. Talk to me, next generation. Where are you at?
Of what? Comparing?
What I just talked about with all of that, with all of the Civil War, the warlords, all of that. I mean, this is something that potentially in our lifetime we could even see here. I'm not even trying to scare anybody. I'm just
you are
being honest.
so real. And I think we haven't had.
We're looking for the thing.
We haven't had as many real world things come to light in our media. I think Somalia is still a great example. I think a lot of things that happen in Africa are such a great example of these warlords just vying for power against each other. To this day, and I do like that. Honestly, I really like that they included this piece into the Star Wars media because, as far as we're aware, there's always been a good side and a bad side. There's always been the Republic, the Separatists, the Empire, the Rebellion, the New Republic, the First Order, you know? And having something as, in between the lines as warlords has really introduced a lot into this world that we kind of needed. Yet we had the cartels and everything, and those are pretty similar, but they were still the third party compared to the big two. There's always been the big two. And from what it seems like in this universe, there isn't.
Oh,
There isn't a big two. And that is such a new thing to have in a Star Wars universe. I'm excited, honestly. I can't draw parallels, but I am excited to see where this
so
goes.
Nawam's not. He's not fighting for like Jedi, right? I mean, he's competing with them for. This is just feel me out with this. He's competing with that other group for what peace means.
Mm-hmm.
So is Nawam compelling yet for his age and what he's trying to do? Or do you think we need more development after episode 4? Or do you think we got enough of Nawam, like, to understand where he's coming from?
I think, honestly, knowing what I know about Star Wars Legends lore, because I think this series really connects a lot with that Legends side of Star Wars. I'm not, again, it all has to do with the sabers, which we're gonna touch on later. But
We gotta hurry though.
yeah, I truly think that he is fleshed out as much as he can be. He can explain anything, and it would only just add to what we know. But as being Star Wars people, we have read the books, we've read the comics, we know where this is gonna go, so we already have an idea of where he is. If you're new in Star Wars, though, I think they're gonna keep adding stuff. They're gonna keep making him seem more in the middle, making him seem more grayish, more just, you don't know how you feel about him by the end of the show.
Mhm.
I feel like that's where they're gonna go. But I know for a fact that us two probably have the same idea of where he's headed.
I'm with you. I love this. So the next piece, I have to step away for 5 seconds. But I'm going to ask you this question. I need you to
Mhm.
roll because it's rolling right into what you said. Based on all of this we've talked about, let's take Nawa's pursuit of that detached, emotionless silver blade, right?
Mhm.
Um, if red represents rage, corruption, passion,
Yeah.
and the blues and the greens represent these other things, what is happening with the silver? Is that balance? Is that neutral? Because this is silver. This isn't Ahsoka white.
Mhm.
Talk to me about that. I'll be right back.
Oh my gosh, we're finally here. Okay, so the biggest thing that I have found in this entire show is the sabers. And we know this, right? You had your blue, your red sabers. You had that moment when what's his name? Jima. When Jima is fighting his master and his saber flickers to red and then goes to silver. After he what? What does he do? What does he do in that moment? He calms down. He takes a breath. And I think if this show ends up being canon, it really lends itself a lot to the Acolyte. And that's a weird thing to say. The Acolyte, I know how bad that was. No. Like the way that she bled a crystal this quickly, and that is the only time we've ever seen a crystal bleed. Say what you will about the show, it it is a huge moment in the entirety of Star Wars lore, right? And so you get into this moment with Jima or whatever, and his lightsaber literally it flashes to red. He's like, "Oh shoot!" And then he calms down. He breathes. He loses all emotion, and he goes into silver, this silver lightsaber, this gray lightsaber. What's another word for silver? What when you see silver, you're like, "Oh, that's silver," or you're like, "Oh, that's gray." I'm not gonna keep pointing fingers towards a certain religion stemming off the Jedi yet, but dude, like that is so powerful. And seeing his face go from being so passionate, and that's when the red starts flickering, is when he's so passionate about his fighting, into that he cools down, he breathes out, he's devoid of emotion, his lightsaber turns gray. That's it. Like, oh my god. And I mean, I really haven't gotten into it, so you're welcome to go into it as well. But like that's such a powerful thing. And like from my perspective, I'll just give it all out right now. I think this is a total like no. Speak.
No,
speak.
stomp your foot and light a match. Raise your
Oh
hand.
my gosh. I think
Bleed
this is
out
a
chickens
total
in the back, baby.
This is like someone whoever made this, dude, they totally read Legends. Like they're totally going for a gray Jedi scenario. Like I know we haven't said it once this whole show, probably, but that is where they're going to. Because yes, if you mix the dark and the light, you get purple. Look at Mace Windu. He danced on that line and he had a purple saber. But what do you do if you have no emotion? You have no compassion, you have no passion. Nothing. We see what happens. Yes, with Jimu, but we also see that with what's his name, the big bad, starts with the W. We see that with him. Yes. Nawa, that's what it is. I just remember the W. But we see that with him whenever he's fighting Kara or whatever. Like, as soon as his blade changed and he's like, I finally reached this point. Like, his entire face while fighting is blank. There is no emotion. There's no compassion to dig into. There's no passion. It is just emotionless fighting. I'm not going to go more into that until later, but because I feel like you might have something to say, but I can go with that leads into if you want. Yeah.
I do have something to say. First of all, I don't know where my saber is.
Didn't you just have it like 5?
Well, I have this
ago?
one. Yes, but this one has the blade. The bladeless one, just the hilt. The heavy hilt, and I showed it off in that one time, and I don't know where it's at. Yeah, the prop one. I'm looking, and it's not in its spot.
Where did you? That bottle of Jameson Black did not do you well, huh?
No, no, I didn't drink that tonight. I drank Cyclone Jim, and it's gone.
The real king of beers.
I believe truly that the saber is the reflection of the soul. And so let me sidebar this. We know that lore now says sabers are X, this, that, whatever. They mean, like I said, consular, guardian, what have you. Zane, if you could choose your saber color, what color would it be, and why would it be that color?
I feel like if I had to choose, my color would probably be orange, not yellow.
Like a Balin kind of orange?
A little lighter, but
okay.
Same kind of mental process. You know, there is so much that the Jedi do wrong, and it is so much. I mean, I think we all agree we are the Sith Dominion. Like we all agree,
we are.
We agree
namesake,
the Jedi are wrong. But I also agree that using your emotions to fuel who you are is also not the best thing. You know, I like if you go into a personal level, like I've really learned how to take problems and instead of just emotionally react to them, take a second, think about them, and then go forward. And I think having a red lightsaber, yes, or a red lightsaber, dude, you're lashing out. That's it. I think an orange lightsaber, you're more, yes, you might lash out, but you're also most of the time going to take a second to think and then respond to your emotions. If you're still feeling that same, you know, anger, that same hatred, maybe it's warranted. Maybe you're going, you know what I mean? Like maybe you're going to use that. But if you take a second and think, oh man, I was stupid. That's such a stupid thing for me to think about. You're not going to act on it. And I think that really translates well into that orange saber for me. I think I will lash out a good amount of times, but I'm also going to most of the time take a second to think, maybe this isn't the best idea. Yeah.
Fair.
You?
I want to preface my response with I am a believer. I believe in Jesus Christ as my savior. But if I were to have a lightsaber,
Oh my god.
Balin Skull's lightsaber orange intrigues me from a level of I have a foundation of truth. But I also know there are things that, while not pertinent to my salvation, do exist. And fruit of the forbidden tree, have a desire to know. And so that struggle as a human, if I can be as real as I can be on this show as not Dr. Dana Martin, it's Dana, who doesn't struggle with that? And so if I were to have a saber, it would be a Balin Skull orange saber based in the lore of Balin. He has the foundation of the Jedi. He understands where the organization of the Jedi, not the belief or ideology of the Jedi, the organization of the Jedi failed. And that seeking not the Jedi interpretation of the power, but the power itself. That's where I want to be. And if I liken it to my own faith, if you will, organized religion is something that's formed of humans and thus flawed. So I seek the deeper truth from the one true God. Just as Balin, I believe we'll see in episode 2, season 2, is seeking the truth from the whole Abeloth.
Yeah.
So I think I just made a pretty badass connection to my own faith in seeking truth in a non-heretic way, but in a truthful way that I hope many of you can relate to at times. Even my own son. That is what makes Star Wars freaking awesome and not a way to detract me from my foundation, but a way to help me to expand on my foundation. And when I see someone like Nawan, who is attempting a balance in his mind, which equates to a numbness, that's what I see in our youth. That's what I see in Delta. Get the Willy drink and be on antidepressants so I don't have to feel. Because that neutral is better than having to deal with the pain of watching someone that you loved and respect die. Not one. Because that neutral is better than feeling What's the dad's name? Shoot, you just walked away. You're my lore master.
It is Jima. La Jima.
Jima. Being neutral is easier than realizing you killed your master, which we still don't know why he killed his master. But whether you're 51 or 21 or 22, sorry. Wait, how old are you?
Yeah.
22.
22 in like a month and a half. Okay.
Wait, what?
22 and a month and a half.
And a month and a half.
Well, almost.
I don't know.
Almost 2 months. Dang. By like 3 days.
We got way deep tonight, really quick. But I'm glad. Telling you,
it's such a
this
deep
freaking show is deeper than you guys. If you're not seeing what we're seeing, I'm really sorry. There is a lot to unpack on this, man. We still have more show, and I don't want to belabor this point any longer. But let's move into the One Piece here with balance, okay? Because what did you just gummy? What did you just do?
No, what? No.
What are you doing?
Come on, no, keep going.
Hold on. I didn't even pregame. That's not even fair. Listen, I'm gonna throw this out there. Mm-hmm. Okay, no one thinks balance means becoming devoid. Okay, right? Am I wrong? Right?
No, it's exactly. I mean, look at his face.
Oh,
you good?
Elbow.
Need a second?
I'm good. Okay. No one thinks that balance means becoming empty. What did I write here? Hold on. If no one thinks balance means becoming empty, then he misunderstands the Force as badly as the Sith do. Now, I know we're TSD and passion, but in the lore of Star Wars, he doesn't get it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get it. Am I wrong?
You are so right. I think looking at purely the faces of Jima, whenever his saber turns silver versus and fights with it versus Nawa or whatever, whenever his saber turns silver and he fights, this guy is still feeling. This guy has nothing. Nothing is on his face. This guy is still feeling for his master that he's going to kill. We don't know the reason. We are not that far yet in. However, this guy, like I said, he's still feeling something. Regardless of what feelings he's putting into his attacks, he's still feeling something. This guy has nothing. Nothing going on. Blank slate. His eyes are like glassed over, basically.
So what's more dangerous? Vader rage or Nawan emptiness?
Well, what's emptiness but having nothing to lose? Versus someone who has an empire to lose.
He has an empire to lose, but he's fueled by rage.
Yeah. But he knows at the end of the day, he's going to have to go back to his master unless he kills him, which he knows he can't.
So you think emptiness, nothing to live for, overrules something to live for?
Okay, you put it that way. It's a little different. I mean,
I just want to point out that I do executive leadership coaching and ask the hard questions when they need to be asked of executive leadership from all levels, and even not executive leaders, even just, I mean, if you're a supervisor, never done this before, and you need some assistance, DM me. This is what I do. Okay. I asked the hard questions. Go ahead,
you did. That was such a hard question. Like, because in the way you framed it in that last question, yeah, of course. Someone who has one thing left to live for, They will fight for it. But I like to think of someone who has nothing to live for as, like, say, a baby copperhead. You step on a baby copperhead, you might be perfectly fine. You might get so much venom in you, you have you won't survive. There is no control in that. There is nothing to stop them from doing something. When you have something to live for, you will always have something there stopping you, regardless of what it is. That's why a loose cannon is always more dangerous, in my opinion, than someone who has something worth fighting for.
So, if the Emperor at any point, and this is your call, lore master, from a canon perspective, at what point, and this may not be answerable, at what point does Vader realize Padme's not coming back? And so at that point, what does he really have to live for?
I think that specific moment happens when he's
I
suited
don't
up.
know. I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it. I haven't read the book. I haven't read Revenge of the Sith. But from what I can tell, purely based on the movies, which Dave Filoni says only the movies are canon. Yeah, I mean that's about when he loses everything. Whenever he's suited up and he's told Padme dies, that's it. However, now you know you got someone powerful you have to work for. And if you don't work for him, you're dead. So you're going to do everything you can to survive and complete that mission.
Hold on. My question, though, is why would he? What does he have to live for?
Power, immortality, to maybe find a way to revive the dead.
Until
His son. And then what happens with his son? He has something to fight for Revenge of this Return of the Jedi.
Damn you, George Lucas, for giving me the feels.
Dude.
I'm telling you, son. Ugh.
Like, as a Star Wars movie, it's probably number 3, Return of the Jedi. As a movie over, yes, because I put Revenge of the Sith and Empire over. In terms of Star Wars,
I just
Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'm putting it
okay,
like that in Star Wars. In terms of movie,
you know me though, man. Yeah,
in terms of like actual movie, in terms of storyline and where things have been brought into, you know, I think Return of the Jedi is probably the best Star Wars movie because of that one thing. Vader has something to lose now.
Yeah.
And so he's going to do everything he can to not lose it. Regardless if he loses his life isn't even a priority anymore. That's what it was before. His life was a semi-priority. Like in the comics and everything. Like he would always go so hard because he was going to survive. He was going to do his master's wishes. Return of the Jedi comes around. He's not trying to do this to survive. He's trying to do this to save his son, his only son.
Yep. So this is where I think we tie it all together to even the OG. One of the greatest tests from my perspective of loving and living Star Wars for 50 years is that restraint is a true Jedi test. It really is. Cam would be proud in this moment, what I'm about to speak. There were a couple of moments where Luke could have or tried to strike down the Emperor and didn't or was stopped, etc. But in the moment that mattered, Luke defined what it was to be a Jedi. That in the face of certain defeat, the ideology would still live on. And that is when I see Juro, I see that. He died because he was distracted by Kara, whatever. And that to me was one of the most Jedi things of the entire first 4 episodes. The compassion, not attachment, the compassion for his new Padawan, whatever, it caused his downfall. That is one of the cruxes of the Jedi. Always has been, always will be. And you see it play out on screen, on the big screen. Dooku pulling down the stuff and hurting Obi-Wan to distract, Anakin, etc. All the things, right? Winning is not just surviving. A Jedi victory has to preserve the ideology through preserving life in some way. Everything in the Clone Wars, everything in the in Rebels, the greatest victories were always when there were more lives saved. And so I truly see that bleeding over into these first 4 episodes. I haven't even watched the next the next 4. So with that, Zane, what are your thoughts on how that parallels and if they're doing a good job? Because I kind of feel like they are carrying this on well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think this whole struggle is such a deeply rooted thing in society today. You know, where you support something until your dying breath, being a martyr, and
True.
I think you can really draw lines in people who support Ukraine, let's say, or Palestine even. Like, you have these people there are people who are going there to die for these efforts that might not ever see fruition. Like, but it's a real thing, and it's a real thing people are dying for. It's a real thing that people are living for. And seeing something as what's his name, Kara's new master, seeing him
True.
do Juro, it is so powerful to see something like this in a way that still resonates with Star Wars. In my opinion, Star Wars fan, it resonates with me. I'm a Star Wars fan, but in a way that resonates with Star Wars fans without feeling too pushy. Having Juro die while being distracted, but he knew when he died that this ideal would be safe. This ideal would continue on. I mean, that's such a big thing. And then, even then, you draw comparisons to Les Miserables, right? The June Revolution. No, but I'm being
Look
serious.
at
The
you.
June
Yeah,
Revolution.
yeah.
Look at, I mean, Les Mis is a book and then a musical. And it was all based off of one thing that, what's his name, ended up just hearing. He was at like a cafe or something and he heard this throughout the day. But having like in, what is his name, Injorinus or something, whoever Aaron Tveit played in that movie, like, he played the leader of these revolutionaries, and they all knew they were gonna die. They all knew they were gonna die, but they did it so that they could have that memory in the hearts of people, so that when the French Revolution happened, right there, the June Revolution, French Revolution, June Revolution's right there, and it's propping up everything else that everyone knew. They had this whole revolution. Everyone died. The Alamo. You talk about
Yeah.
Texas history. The Alamo is just another Les Mis. The Alamo is
Yeah.
literally a spot that was completely wiped out by the Spanish. But what happened in the next big battle? I say big because there were multiple battles, but the next big battle was San Jacinto. And what happened? They finally
Remember
won.
Goliad. Remember the Alamo. Exactly.
Exactly. And I think
Yep.
that really pertains in something like Star Wars. You know, you remember the Death Star. You remember when all these planets were killed. But even further, you remember when your master had died. Your master died fighting for this ideal, and you're going to continue fighting for this. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but like, yeah, that's that's kind of where I see it. I see it in line with all of these other historical big things that you can really draw and like tie rope to and just attach it right there
And that's all he has to say about that for now.
for now.
So through 4 episodes, the Ninth Jedi, for me, it kind of feels like one of the better kind of visions, interpretations, because I think it understands what we are looking for. We get it. It's not canon, okay? But I would imagine there's some head canon somewhere. Thank you, Cam. Head canon. Where this whole newer, to me, Gen X, newer bleeding of the crystal and all this stuff, and now they're bringing even more of that lore into it. It takes the familiar pieces of Star Wars and brings kind of a new spirituality to to the kyber crystal and to the lore. And I'm down for that. I've always admired the Jedi pilgrimage to Ilium to get your crystal, and all. I've loved that. And to see the sentient crystal be explored a little more, I'm 100% for. To see whatever her dad's name is, I can never, whatever. Thank you, Lore Master, for telling me what
Shima.
that is real quick. Thank you. Uh, to see him be able to not imbue himself, just connect with the crystals in this way. Um, it's broadening the lore if they'll let it be canon. So my hope is, like you said, they might add that later, some bridge or something. I would love Disney, please, Darth Mouse. I'm liking this so far. But the question for you, one of the finals, because we're at 2 hours here, does changing that lightsaber color mid, when we did it with Acolyte, we didn't like it. We didn't like how that happened. But do you think this is worth the risk or not? And do you like it or not? Talk to me about that, because that is
Honestly,
different than we've seen.
honestly, when it comes to Star Wars, I will always be disappointed in some projects. However, I would also be more disappointed if they don't double down on those projects. I think well, and that's my I think if you take something and you throw it out there, you better be ready to just confirm that and double down on what you believe. Because if you don't, then what are you? What are you really? What do you have to share? What do you have to say if you're not going to double down on what you mean? You have nothing. You are nothing. And so I think it that scene whenever Jima is fighting his master, I think that is the biggest scene in my opinion in the 4 episodes. Yes,
Yeah.
having whatever his name, Nawa, whatever,
No,
Nawa, have his lightsaber, like that was cool, and that adds a lot. But I think Jima, specifically that fight, shows all that the series has to offer in little words. And I don't think that means to stop watching it. I think that means continue. But like having it flicker to red, which it's not the exact way we saw a crystal bleed in Acolyte, but I think they almost doubled down in that thought that he was about to bleed the crystal, but he calmed down, he soothed himself, he got rid of those feelings that were bringing him this way or this way, and made it gray, made it silver.
The crystal reacted. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's what they did in that scene, though. I think they almost doubled down on the Acolyte in a good way. I think having that, because it did flicker red, if I'm not mistaken, I swear it flickered red. And that was literally what made both of them stop fighting before he calmed down. And that flicker red is almost an artistic moment of them showing that the crystal was about to bleed before it didn't. Because when I saw it happen, like in that scene, I saw it before I thought about it. I saw it happen. I'm like, did he just cleanse
It's
a
gonna go
crystal
red.
without? Well, because I saw it almost go red, and I'm like, did he just cleanse it without? But no, it was silver. Like it wasn't white. And so like I remember staring at the screen. I'm eating whatever I made for dinner, which was like beans and olives and mushrooms, whatever. And I threw some cheese in there.
On.
It was good. It was so good. But put some taco seasoning over.
Okay.
But I remember pausing it and looking at it, and I'm like, this isn't red. This isn't blue. This isn't white. What is this? And then for him to explain it in the later episode helped. But like, I mean, yeah, I don't know how much I can explain it as much as that. Like it's just such a noticeable difference. It's the only big part of those 4 episodes that has stuck with me the most is that one moment. And I think going back to maybe your question, because I don't remember it, like I really think instead of maybe trying to overshadow what is canon or just kind of control what people think about bleeding, I think they really doubled down on it. I think that was such a double down moment to show that that crystal was about to bleed. It was about to bleed. We saw it flicker red. Like it was about to go there. It didn't. And instead it turned clear to show his emotions. He calmed down. He really slowed himself through the force, and he went from being super passionate, which is why it was flickering red, to being calm in what he believed. He knew what he had to do. We'll see possibly a reason in the next couple episodes, but he knew what he had to do, and he did it.
And he did it in a silver way, not a red way or a blue way, which I think will be revealed, like you said, in further episodes. This is the longest episode officially.
To think you went 30 minutes by yourself.
I know. But so I do have one more question because I think it's and I think it's important. It's a 2-parter. First, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, 1 being worst. Episodes 1 through 4 as a whole. Why would he leave? He just left. I don't know where he went. This is not okay. Can you join again? Oh my God.
What is it?
Okay. 2-parter.
I'm
Rank 1 to 10, 10 being best, 1 being worst. Rate 1 through 4 as a whole. And then do you want to see this kind of Star Wars in canon, yes or no? Go.
Okay, you said 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Honestly, I would give these 4 episodes, not a whole series, these 4 episodes, I think as a Star Wars project, a 9 out of 10. As an overall project, maybe a 7 out of 10. I think the anime style is just messing with me so much. Because I don't know if y'all have known, I am like 750 episodes into One Piece. I have watched probably 100 different anime. Like I am an enjoyer, and this is what it is, anime. And so having like it just really
Did you watch
messes
in
with my head.
English or in subtitles?
Well, actually, I did watch in English, but I was reading through the languages, and the only other audio description was German, which is weird. So it almost makes me want to think the studio's out of Germany, which I am not confirming. I don't want to search it up. That's too much work. But like, that was kind of weird.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But when it comes to Star Wars, right? I gave it what, like a 9 out of 10.
Mhm.
I really think that it has everything there. I think it really is pushing what we know into Star Wars in a good way without discrediting everything we've already learned,
That's a good point. Yeah.
right? And so going on to your second question, I would totally love to see more of this in canon. I think the way that I don't want to see they're bringing the Great Jedi into canon because it's not canon, but that's like I mean, that's about the only thing we're missing that would maybe tie up some loose ends is a gray Jedi sort of cult. I don't want to say
Yeah.
cult, but it's basically a cult. Um, I would love to see more of this though, for sure. I think they did such a good job in these 4 episodes, even to show the lightsaber bleeding and then going back. You know, it was dipping into that dark side and then went back, and then he calmed himself and went into that in between, the real in between, not even the like, because we all thought purple was in between. Purple's on the line. What happens if you like void yourself of all of those emotions? Strip the color, you're left with what? Black, white, and gray.
Well, white is all color. Black is absence of color. So
So the neutral would be brown. We got it, guys. New brown
neutral would
lightsaber
be
into Star Wars.
what can brown do for you? All right.
Should have worn my brown
I would
pants.
give it an 8 for the first 4, which I'm very hard on
You are.
my ratings
You
and
heard it here
ranking.
first, folks.
Um,
Dr. Dana is
but
very
I'm getting
hard.
an 8 because I'm digging it. And what I found is I will watch the first 4 again before I start 5 through 8. Do I want this in yes. This kind of storytelling, this is Star Wars storytelling just in a different way that we haven't seen. I remember showing a clip of the anime Star Fighter thing that some fan film, guy did a while back. Um, I loved that. I loved the style. My anime goes back to the 70s, which you guys laughed at, but I
Oh.
I was on the cusp of it with G-Force or the Battle of the Planets. That was my first foray into anime. And what? Why are you
Sorry,
giving me grief?
that was such a horrible anime.
It's wonderful. It's freaking amazing.
I don't
Anyway.
think true anime was real until Dragon Ball and Cowboy Bebop and
No,
Voltron, and like those were really the start of good
Voltron
anime.
was in the 70s too or 80s too.
And it was the
What are you
start of
talking
some good anime to come.
All right. Anyway, they're just trying to sell toys. Anyways, yes, I want
Transformers.
this kind of Star Wars canon. Not all the Visions stuff have I been excited about, but I've watched, and I was excited about the Ninth Jedi. I thought it was done really well in the Visions uh, series, and so far, episode 1 through 4, 8. I give it an 8. So we got to wrap it up. We have been on air way too long tonight. So, what do you got coming up, Zane?
That is what I'm looking up right now.
Tomorrow, as I said at the very beginning of the show, go jump
Tomorrow.
on my DMs if you don't know where to go. But if you just at Dr. Dana Martin on pretty much any social media, you will find me. There is a post about a free complimentary communication. Everyone communicates, few connect, and that is tomorrow at noon central from noon to 1. You have to register so you can get the Zoom link because it's only 40 people. But I think right now I think I've got 4 people signed up. So not my lore master son. He has not signed up for it. But that's
Hey,
okay. Hey, Peter.
hey,
No.
hey, Peter.
Hey.
Hey, Peter. You know what I mean?
That is tomorrow at noon. Instead of eating lunch, I am doing that because that is my joy, is to share communication information. Outside of that, I did show that Spooky Jawa is still in the lead, but I'm gonna have to combine the points for House of Vizsla and Master Tiger. It's gonna be between those two though, who get the new book. And Spooky, if you're not watching live, you're gonna have to here and there because Master Tiger's on like every time we broadcast now. So, and Master Tiger, make sure you're caught up next week. We'll have him on from House of Vizsla to talk about his review of episodes 5 through 10. No, 5 5 through 8. All right. What are you doing, Zane? You got your stuff pulled up? You good now?
Yeah. In 1 second. Yes. Okay. So, this weekend, probably not, but I might have a gig with John. I don't know yet. We'll see how that turns out.
If you do, where would it be?
That is a great question for my
Okay,
Instagram
what about the next
page.
gigs?
Yes, the next gigs will also show up on my Instagram page whenever you look it up. I will be posting about them as my singers make all of their promotion. But the 21st, 22nd, I am in the Houston area. I will be in Southeast in Baytown. I think the 21st I'm playing at the Whiskey Barn. And then 22nd I'm playing at a festival somewhere around there. One of those days. Either way, if you go for that Friday, I mean, you're definitely not missing something. Because festival should be open as long as you put some money in. Whiskey Barn will definitely be easy to get into as long as you don't wear cutoff shirts. I learned that the hard way when we went to visit.
You learned that the hard way?
Yeah. 25th.
A cutoff shirt here?
Private.
Like torso or
No, the sleeves. The 28th, I'm playing with Von Seegers. I think we're at somewhere in the Austin area. Like I said, when promotion comes around, we will promote it. Just go up there. But the September 4th, for sure, I'm gonna be at Cheatham Street Warehouse with Von Seegers. We're opening up for this other band that no one cares about. But come and see me because you care about me. September 11th, I'm playing with Thomas Babiak.
Never forget.
We are.
Sorry.
Man.
Go ahead.
We are opening up for the Hoosier Brothers in Elotes, Texas. It should be at John T. Floor's Country Store. I think is what it's called.
Nice.
Big place. Might as well go. Right? You're gonna see the Hoosier Brothers. If you don't know who they are, dude, they opened up for Treaty Oak Revival. And if you don't know who they are, what are you doing in the Texas music scene? Like, come on. They are blowing up so much right now. But yeah. And then the 12th, I'm playing with the Boondocks Boy again. Somewhere in Marble Falls. It's one of the bigger venues, so you'll see more more info about it later whenever it happens.
Awesome. Go check him out. Go on Spotify. Check out the Boondocks Boy. It's it'll be a treat. I enjoyed
Dude,
it.
he just
thoroughly.
released a single like a week or two ago called I
Nice.
Just
I need
Want a
to
Ball.
revisit.
It
I
is
just want a ball.
I Just Want a Ball is totally like when I said it's Post Malone mixed with Treaty Oak Revival, like it's kind of that. It has more of those that rappiness kind of from Post Malone, but
Yeah.
also it's like the drums and the guitar, like they're all playing like together and they're all doing a lot of more metal stuff. Dude, you'll love him. Trust me, you'll love him. He's in my
Cool.
playlist, and I don't add any bands that I play for in my playlist.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. No, I'm just kidding. I do.
No,
have
you're so
some of
real.
your tunes. I do need to say one more thing, and we've got to shut the show down. But
Yeah,
Juro Saber with that Halo crossguard thing, like that was pretty sick, man. I love that. I never would have imagined that. Whatever creator came up with that, kudos. Amazing. All right. We will see you all next week, and we will be talking about episodes 5 through 8. We will also have hopefully Master Tiger from House of Vizsla on to give us his take as well. Always remember, kids, peace is a lie. There's only passion. Good night.